Hello and welcome back to the Origin Mark Dex. We are going to be going through the progress we've made over the last few months, and I will say, in a way, I have not progressed as much as I wanted to or thought to, but at the same time, I've had certain life events happening. I've moved and finding a new job and all kinds of stuff in my personal life that has kind of taken away from the grind, but as you can see, we're opening up Pokemon Bank here, actually. We won't actually be checking through Pokemon Home at all. And the reason for that is basically because nothing has changed. So the past few months, I will say, we know that the Pokemon Bank service and the 3DS online service is shutting down, which means that the urgency of the older marks is a lot higher right now than the modern games. The Switch games can be collected at any point, until further notice. It's probably going to be years down the road before the Switch online services, get canceled in any way. So there's no worry there. The older marks, however, the Gameboy mark, the No Origin mark, which is Gen 345, and the X and Y mark, and the Sun and Moon mark are basically going away until further notice. Again, these could possibly come back with the release of another service on the Switch, like if the Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. were to ever come out on the Switch, then those marks, I assume, would be transferable to home and available again. But as of now, they're exclusive, so we're trying to knock those out. The past few months, I've been able to nearly finish the Game Boy mark. These are all Game Boy mark Pokemon from Gen 1 and 2. That's being Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal. And you'll notice for sure that mostly these are base forms, unevolved. And we're not really worried about getting them evolved. Originally I wanted to get them evolved in their appropriate games and then transfer them in. But I think that's just going to take up way too much time. So today is the 30th of January. And the online service is said to, be unsupported starting the 8th. So that gives you, February, March, basically 2 months. So 65, 70 days or so. So let's go through how this went, how long it took, and I'll share some details of what happened during my collecting all these Pokemon. So you'll see they're mostly, no, I wouldn't even say mostly. They're pretty much split between Gen 1 and 2 games, mostly Blue and Yellow and Silver and Gold. I don't think I had to play Gold at all, actually. The version exclusives were in each, and I only used Gold to transfer in starters. But as of Gen 1, the starters were a challenge in their own. They're not too hard, but you have to play through the beginning of the game a few times. You can trade them to your save file and transfer them all up, but I only have one 3DS with the Virtual Console games on them, so I opted to use Checkpoint on my modded 3DS and just use checkpoints and transfer a starter up and then reset, and then transfer a starter up and reset. I did that for the Bulbasaur, the 2 Bulbasaurs, the 2 Charmanders, Squirtle, Wartortle, and these 3 fully evolved Pokemon there are from Yellow. I don't feel, that using the save states in this case was really cheating, more than just cutting a corner and saving myself from playing through the game 9 times. I did have to play the game through, I would say 4 times. So I had a Blue playthrough, a Yellow playthrough, and then I had to play through Red twice to get the fossils there. But we'll hold that off for a second. So Spot and Terry are trades from Red and Blue. I do plan on doing all the trades throughout the games and collecting their original trainers in a way. And in Gen 1, all of the trainers Pokemon, or I should say the trainers OT of the trade Pokemon are just called Trainer. It's on the bottom screen there, but it's just Trainer there. And there's, you know, about 15 or so trade Pokemon. Jurio, there was Spike the Parasect. And then moving on, some of these will be at the end too. Let's see that trade. Yeah, so Muscle and Ricky. I think Muscle is from Gold and Silver. Ricky's from Red and Blue. This Rapidash here is missing. I'm pretty sure I have it in a game. I have it checked off, but it's just not in its slot. I may go back and catch another one. Dux is from Red and Blue, traded from a Spearow. Doris is actually the second, or the first of two Dorises, the other being the Electrode Doris. Suzanne, Sticky, and then, yeah, Doris again. Basically, all the trades we're collecting up. Rhydon is the last trade I need. It's from Gold and Silver. I guess I could do it in Silver. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And then going through Miles and Mr. Mime, Lola, and I think that's that end for the trades. Faish is just my Magikarp that I named Faish. Now, the EVs were interesting because normally for an EV, you'd either use Gen 2 and breed them, or you would play through a Gen 1 game all the way up to Celadon City and collect that EV. All these EVs are from Kanto, but I didn't exactly play through the game, you know, 7 or 8 times. I would just throw down a checkpoint on the modded 3DS before picking up the EV, and then I'd pick it up, send it to a box, and then send it to bank. And for me, that's okay. I mean, I can understand for some people wanting to get the full, like, legit experience of playing through up to Celadon every time and collecting your EV. And for me, though, if it's not a clone, I'm not getting one EV and cloning it with the checkpoint, but I'm generating, you know, unique EVs, and same with the fossils. The fossils I did have to play through again, because I had to set a checkpoint when you pick up the fossil, and I had to pick up an Ammonite. I had an Amistar, but not an Ammonite. Play through all the way to the Cinnabar Island and get them, you know, resurrected, and then set it back to the checkpoint in Mount Moon and play through again with Kabuto. I found I could do this in about 3 hours. If I skip the Lieutenant Surge battle, skip the Erica battle, and skip the Sabrina battle, I can skip the game corner by using the Pokédoll in the what's it called? The Pokemon Tower, where the ghosts are. And then just beating Koga for Surf, and then surfing to Cinnabar Island. So I can do it in about 3 hours. And it saved a lot of time. I mean, otherwise you're just playing through the game and wasting about 5 hours each Pokemon. Or not even, I guess like 2 for the Eevee. But here we have Aroy as a trade from Crystal, and then the Legendaries and Mew. Mew's empty because it's going to be preferably Haley's Mew from Pokemon Ranch on the Wii. But I also would accept the Mew from Gen 1 using the glitches to make it, you know, legit through and transferring the bank. But that's Gen 1, and then Gen 2, kind of the same story with the save states. Gen 2 you can breed, so I did breed a Totodile from a Crystal playthrough, and then that's my Cyndaquil from a Silver playthrough, I think. Did I say Silver? Silver or Crystal, whichever one it is. And then I did the save files for the Chikorritas and the extra Cyndaquils. Again, Gen 2 is not too hard when you're not trying to evolve them all. Pichu, Cleffa, and Igglybuff here are hatched from the Odd Egg. And eventually I would like these to be the shiny versions from the Odd Egg. I did manage to get one, which was the Magby, and we'll see that in a second. But the Odd Egg Pokemon take a while to evolve, or to hatch, I should say. It's about 10 to 15 minutes per hatch. I did, after doing about 6 hatches, I'd say like an hour and a half or so, I did discover you can do a kind of, you know, turn off the game while it's saving glitch with the boxes, and you can get 5 Odd Eggs in your same box, or in your party, and hatch them all at the same time. And that would definitely be the way I would do it. I would not try to bother doing this one Odd Egg at a time if you were trying to get the shinies. Because in the end, it's about 1% to get all the shinies together. So you're probably hatching around 100 eggs there. Moving on, the Marrows were kind of annoying. You had to catch those in a cave, and they're kind of low encounter rate for me. what more? Oh, the unknown. I got unknown A there. And then if we skip back to here, I got the rest of them. Those are all caught in crystal, I believe. And let's get us back. So, yeah, Wobbuffet, Girafarig, Pineco's. Oh, Dunsparce is a 1% encounter from the Dark Cave. I think we will. I do want to be getting a 3-segment Dunsparce, but it's probably going to be one of the last Pokemon I go for, honestly, because it's 1% Dark Cave. You're looking at thousands of encounters. No, about 1,000 encounters to get 100 Dunsparces to get that chance for the 3-segment. But Mantine, I think, was the last Pokemon I caught in this box. You know, not including the ones I'm missing. Porygon, you kind of buy it. I wonder if I bought this in Gen 1. I think I did. In my yellow, I actually just ran the Elite Four probably 30 times to get money to be able to buy the Porygons and everything. And then Smoochum, Elekid, and Magby is the shiny. You don't really see it in the Pokebank screen, but you see the little red star is the shiny from the Odd Egg there. We're missing Hitmontop. I'm pretty sure in my grind to get the other baby Pokemon shiny, I'll just save some extra Tyrogues to get those evolved. But I'm not going to be doing that like right now. It's maybe one of the last I fill too. I'll probably fill it in the Switch. And then the legendary dogs were as annoying as you expect to catch, and the legendary box art legends were fairly simple. Not too bad, just going up in their caves. I did this on silver, so I got the level 40 Lugia and the 70 Ho-Oh. And Celebi. And then we got the extra evolutions for the later released evolutions like Alolan Marowak and Porygon Z and blah blah blah. Buffy is a trade. Looks like I got an extra Tyrogue there for a Hitmontop, Mark, the Lickitung, and etc. Like Stantler will be a Hisuian Stantler. Oh, there's the female Heracross, so I do have that. And so on. So extra EVs. I think I have one extra EV. And to prove these are, uniquely generated, there's a male and female, but I did use the save state before the EV, like I said. Extra Dunsparce, Teddiursa, which will be Ursaluna, and a Cyndaquil for Hisuian. So that's what we got in Gen 1 and 2 for the Virtual Console marks. And I will say some quirks of this, not just specifically this mark, but the Origin Dex in general, is once the Pokemon are transferred into Bank, they can only come out into Gen 7, which is Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun and Moon. So if you want to get an X and Y Origin Dex, you have to get the unobtainable Pokemon from Gen 3, 4, 5. So I did start to breed. I would pull these out and put them into my Ultra Moon and breed them down to get some Sun and Moon Origin marks. And then in doing that, I kind of realized, oh shoot, you have to catch them. You gotta do it in an order. You gotta do Virtual Console first, then you gotta collect the No marks, and then you gotta collect the X and Y marks, and then you gotta get the Sun and Moon marks. Otherwise, you're gonna, I can't transfer these into home yet because I need them to get unobtainable Pokemon in Sun and Moon. So if you do decide to go and try to get your own Origin Mark Dex, keep them in Bank until you're done or sure that you have them, because once they're in home, you're going to have to go back and play those older games to get them into the newer games, to get them bred, to get the right marks. So one of the quirks I kind of discovered from doing the Origin Dex there. I think that's it, actually. I guess one more quirk of my personal playthrough would be I was using files on different, mediums. I was playing Yellow on Cart, and then I was playing Silver on Steam Deck, and then I was playing Emerald on 3DS. Modded 3DS, of course, for Emerald. But, make sure you're keeping track of all your save files, because I do spend a bit of time remembering, okay, I have my Leaf Green playthrough on my cart, and I've been playing it on my 3DS, but now my save files are in different instances, and which Pokemon did I catch on which, system was I playing, and I got Steam Deck going on, and I try to transfer the Steam Deck file to the DS, it's really complicated. So you got to either learn how to transfer all the systems, or just keep it online, play on cart is probably the easiest thing, and then second to playing on Virtual Console 3DS. So I think that's about it for this section. So I'm going to be moving on to basically Gen 3. I'll be playing through Emerald and a little bit of Ruby, presumably, or Sapphire for the exclusives. And then I'll go in order. I'll do Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And I'm only, for no marks, I'm only going to be focusing on their specific generation. Generation 3, I'm only catching Hoenn. Generation 4, I'm only catching Diamond and Pearl and Heart Gold. And then Generation 5 will be Gen 5, of course. Or Unova. And then I'm not going to finish the dexes in each game because it's kind of redundant. And then after that, we'll probably do another update, and then we'll move on to X and Y, do another update, and move on to Sun and Moon, do another update. And by then, hopefully it's April, and I haven't failed the challenge by getting locked out of Pokemon Bank. But if that happens, I guess you guys will know that there wasn't a video updated. Or there will be a video updated, and we'll talk about how I failed. But that's going to be it for now. Streams are up in the air because I moved. But presumably still happening on Tuesday, and if it changes, it changes. So stay tuned for more. If you're doing this challenge, let me know where you stand. If you see any errors in the video, let me know. I didn't show a lot of information in this one just because Bank doesn't show it. But in, I guess if there's any errors like Pokemon misplaced, I'm pretty careful about it, but it could be off. Just let me know. Thanks you all. There's been a lot of comments and participation, so that's really fun to see. Let me know if you're doing a similar challenge or a challenge of your own. And we'll see you on the next one, hopefully pretty soon here.